others, but pretty much every call starts with, Grammy, I'm so sorry, and a lot of crying and begging to come home. And I'm really worried about her. She's not eating. She says she tries, but she's just, I mean, she's pretty messed up right now. She's very sad. She's very, very remorseful. She can't believe she did something like this, and she's also feeling like she's been made an example of. Um, Correct. That is correct, and she did just what you said. The issue we have is about 5 to 7 days before Skylar went, there was a couple from Canada that went, and they breached isolation. They actually have videos and pictures of that couple breaching isolation at least 15 to 20 times, going, jump to the fence in their hotel to go to another hotel to swim, being on the beach, being in clubs, being at the grocery store. And they, granted the fine, the law was still the same. The fine was different. At that point, the maximum fine was 5K per person and 6 months in jail. They walked away each paying $1,000 and going home. Well, I don't think she expected to get away with it. We're all for paying whatever fine they think, but they have never imprisoned anyone for breaching isolation. They've had people, local people, actually breach quarantine because they're positive and they breach quarantine, and all they do is send them back home. There's a Right now there's a 19-year-old university student. He lives in the Caymans. He goes to school outside of the Caymans. Flew home. The very first day he was home, he breached his isolation because they isolate at home. All tourists, they you can isolate where you are, but once you breach it, you go into a government quarantine, and you're responsible for paying. It's a hotel, and you're responsible for paying the hotel bill. They let him go back home. That's that. Well, I'm hoping that the federal government will step in. What we're hearing so far, I think our Georgia senators and governor and attorney general, they're all very sympathetic and doing what they can. I did, out of sheer desperation, write to the White House, and they promptly responded and said they was really sorry. They were going to review what was going on, and then when they put her in prison, which stunned all of us, I wrote back to them, and according to them, they have turned it over to the appropriate federal agency to do an investigation. So I don't know if that will help or not. Now, the Scholar, the the people there are very verbal. There are people that say, "Why are you making an example out of an 18-year-old American?" When that's a lot of their tourism is Americans, and why is this 19-year-old kid that lives here able to do whatever he wants to do because his mom happens to work for the government? And why did the Canadians not have to pay? They were older than her, and should have known better. And so a lot of them, while some of them are very angry and truly hate mail on her, some of them are saying, let's do this right. If we're going to do it, then do it. But you can't just single out an American and do her. And she's 18 years old. And